No blood on the seats. Nobody died. That's good. That's just a few bolts here, Lyman.
Just a couple. And this is what your A-arms do when you
Whoa!
build them affordable.
So this one was like that?
It was like.
All right, so I'm here at Alpine XC with Josh. How you doing, Josh?
Doing awesome. Just getting some work done.
He was trying to till we invaded. Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
So I just had a couple questions like, what is Alpine XC?
We do everything start to finish on a bike. So Alpine XC is my project I started pretty much 4 years ago. Primary focus originally was to be a suspension technology shop to understand how to provide a better rider experience, and that's kind of grown into start top to bottom everything on the bike, mobile services, try and provide extra customer service that I feel like a lot of people, I know myself, feels in this industry wasn't being provided by some of the existing models. I like to be involved with the customer interface a lot. The direct line calls me directly so that we can get people kind of the best customer service, and I can understand what I can do to help them best.
And he's very good at asking questions to figure out what you really want, because sometimes we don't know what we want, but he can help us.
I think it's super helpful because of my experiences riding, racing, and doing different things. We invest a lot of time and effort into testing product and understanding what we're selling. So rather than coming in and just picking something off the shelf, I do want to know what you're riding. I want to know what you do to enjoy the sport. Obviously riding's super important to a lot of people because it's more than just a hobby, it's their lifestyle and experience to really enjoy life. So rather than waste time testing a tire yourself or experimenting with question marks, whatever we can do to kind of further that along to get you on the right equipment is kind of the experience we want to provide.
So making people happier and saving them some ton of dough, because if you're experimenting yourself, it costs a lot.
Tires are a great example. Everybody wants to test a tire, so they keep coming in like, I'm going to test this tire. And I don't think there's a lot of value in riding a tire for an entire season and then next year trying a new tire. Without that side-by-side and a lot of hours spent, a lot of that gets washed away. The memory of what it was last year in this dirt condition and so forth. I think being able to have a tire that works for what you know you're going to ride is worth a lot more than just trying it out and winging it on a whim just because the sales guy sold it to you, right?
I agree. So you said riding experience. How long have you been riding?
Forever, I guess. It feels like...
You were born riding?
No, I got my first bike when I was 11, and it was a Trail 90. And from there, have run kind of the full gambit for off-road. Hare and Hound, desert racing is where my heart lies. I like to talk about, riding for fun, but I race for fun. That's what I really do enjoy.
He's fast, by the way. Just FYI.
Super medium. Racing's a really great experience for people because you don't know what you're missing, versus when you go to a race, you experience what people who have been doing this for years and years are trying to give us a great experience of. So I always try and talk everybody into racing because it provides a really safe environment.
He talked me into it. I was never going to do it. And I'm glad he did. It
was an awesome experience to see you learn and grow from race one to what did you just do to me, right? So
race one, I think it took me 8 or 9 hours to finish, and Lyman was like the only person to wait. And how come you waited?
One, to see if you'd make it, right?
Safety and... Did you want to hear the story?
I want to know all about racing. We want to help people get racing because racing isn't a crazy thing that people do to send themselves to a quick death. Racing is just a really awesome experience to go and experience riding and have some real emotional highs and real emotional lows.
Physical too.
Physically, definitely. You know, it's crazy to see how many times your body can fail, and then you come back from it and, you know, push harder and, you know, pick up speed, passing guys again. But it really allows us to get out and see Utah at its best. Yeah.
So you do a 90-mile race. I don't know how many trail rides it would take me to learn what I did while I was racing.
Yeah,
so.
accelerating that, you know, for a hobby, for a lot of people that you're only getting out 5 or 6 times a year, you know, versus the guy who's riding every day. What's the difference in you go out, you ride somewhere unknown and you kind of explore around, which is a great way to experience bikes.
Yeah, that's fun.
But when you can go hit, like you're saying, anywhere from 50 to 100 miles, I think that's a really awesome opportunity to figure out a lot of things that you know that you have to accomplish it, and then you have to progress to the next thing that's going to hold you up, rather than, oh, that was hard and I'm going to turn back. There's really no turning back.
Almost turned back, but they're marked trails. Like I loved it.
Yeah, everything's
And the people
safe.
were great.
The desert racing community, everything I've experienced, they're the best people that I love to spend time with.
That's why I go back.
Yeah.
I still suck, but I enjoy it. And meeting you, honestly, this is off the cuff, but when I see him before a race, like my heartbeat's like probably 180. I'm not even joking. And I see Lyman, he's just all relaxed. Hey, how you doing? You're gonna have fun. It makes my whole race. So.
No, I think the more, you know, all the people I've met in racing and, you know, that experience, that how they're affecting me is super important. There's a lot of, the greatest of racers and the greatest of personas here in the industry are certainly those people that they're not just there to ride and win, but they're actually changing how you feel about human beings all around, right? They're actually really good people that really care about not just the sport, but the people in it. And so I think that environment and community is why I've been so happy settling into the power sports industry.
It's really cool.
Yeah.
Favorite riding memory?
Favorite memory?
Yeah.
So I did get to race the Baja 1000 in 2017. 2 weeks before the race, I get a phone call. Hey, do you want to go to Mexico? Baja's going on. I'm like, oh yeah, that sounds like a thing to go help out on a crew. And my buddy's like, oh no, you need to take my spot. I'm busy. I have work.
2 weeks before?
2 weeks before. And I was like, yeah, let's do it. This is my life. This is like, let's live it. So I booked 2 flights, me and my little brother. We jump on a plane, we fly to San Diego. We climb in a beat up Toyota pickup with like 280,000 miles on it with 2 guys I've never met before and a YZ450FX, and we cross the border.
That you've never met the bike before
I've never
either?
met the bike either. Totally not how you would expect to build a team, but I think a lot of Baja stories start that way. But what a incredible experience to just jump into another really wonderful environment of human beings to go ride with. And it was the 50-year anniversary, so they did the full peninsula. It was 1,100 miles, and we had everything go wrong, and then everything got fixed with what we called Baja miracles. You know, so
What's a Baja miracle?
anytime you're like, there's no way we can move forward, you know, here's the problem, and then here's somebody that comes out of the woodworks, or all of a sudden you do get phone reception and you make progress a little at a time. So Baja Miracles kind of carried us through, and we made it to, I think it was mile marker 10:30, and the race went to 1,100 something, so we ended up blowing the bike up at the end. But really, like, not a bad experience the whole way through. So that's
Pretty
probably
cool.
my most recent, you know, real favorite memories.
Would
I'd
you
like
do
to-
it again?
Absolutely. But the neat thing about desert to me is how many times I'm really riding at my absolute limits against 45 and 50-year-olds. I tell people all the time, desert racing is something you age into. You don't age out of.
There's 70+ experts.
Right. How do you stay alive? Like,
They're my heroes.
through racing,
They're
right?
my heroes.
Yeah. So, yeah, when 1 or 2 70-year-olds are still showing up to every race.
And they want to do 2 laps. They
Yep.
give them a choice, and they're always like, we want to do both.
They're so mad if they get shorted a lap, right? So it's an awesome thing that way. So I think it's definitely something for everybody.
Yeah. My first time riding with him, I'll never forget it. I had a bike, and I had just learned to go over a branch about this big, so I thought I was the shit. And we get up this spot in the mountain, single track, and he had to turn around. And I'm standing by him, and next thing I know, he's got the wheel straight up by my head, turned around. I've been working for 3 years to get it.
Yep.
Finally, but
The constant progress is what it's all about, right?
So you mentioned one last thing, mobile services.
Yeah. Just something to branch out from what the normal dealerships and everybody's providing. Originally we had started this, you know, working primarily mobily. So we do offer our lube services, race preps, for side-by-side specifically. Prepping that machine and not having to trailer it down to us is kind of a convenient feature for the people who don't have trucks or convenient ways to transport their bike even.
Yeah.
We do pickups and drop-offs as, you know, additional services we do that way. If we're doing, you know, we get called a lot for, can you rebuild my motor in my driveway kind of thing, and we offer a better product producing that out of our shop. But as much as we can do to try and improve the convenience of your riding experience, that's kind of something we're doing that's a little more out of the box.
Suspension.
So suspension tuning.
You went to I think you went out of town and went to a class, didn't you?
So
a couple years ago or something.
We've done
or many maybe.
A lot of training, a lot of specific testing, you know, for suspension. Working with Johnny Mac, trying to get a cone valve conversion has been a real awesome product that we've been able to offer to the market. Taking the modern air forks is the current cone valve offering we offer. Rather than spending $4,000 and $5,000 to set up your suspension with premier components, we're able to manufacture a valve assembly that replaces the existing mid valve to give you the feature sets of a cone.
So it acts like cone valves.
It's a cone styled mid valve. So you send your forks and shock into for a revalve, and if you have an AER 48 assembly, we're offering that to our customers. What that gives you is the ability to run a softer setting for more plushness on the bottom, but still have the bottoming resistance for, you know, speed, racing, slamming into ditches, surprise things.
G-outs.
Correct. So that's been a piece of technology that I think's been underdeveloped in the industry that we're working with.
And you're making it more affordable to somebody like
correct.
Like me, I can't do a $5,000 fork set.
Not everybody, you know, as much as I've been racing, I haven't been running a full set of WP cone valves or, you know, some of the A-kit stuff when you realize this is a hobby and yeah, we want the best, but within reason. So this is splitting the difference, getting the technology into your bike without having to buy an entire new fork assembly or something like that. The value of it, I think it gives us, you know, pro level performance at a really good price point.
Yeah, so whether you're at 5 times a year or 100, you enjoy it that much more.
Two things are super important to me on a bike: tires and suspension. Why is that important? That's what's keeping us attached to the earth. Okay, so having good traction, not having loss of control, suspension plays a huge role in that, and so that's definitely what drove us to, you know, have the shop, is to, you know, people are really good at changing oil in their bikes.
Yeah.
But changing oil in their forks is totally forgotten until it leaks. So educating our customer base, trying to get a better, simpler, more affordable program to maintain the suspension so that they're having a better experience. The other,
and you actually feel that when you're on the bike, like that makes your experience either better or worse, right?
Yeah, we see a huge influx of motocross factory bikes, you know. They're set up to go ride on a groomed track at an intermediate level, let's say. When you buy that bike, because there's tons of them out there, so it's a good bargain, and you go ride single track or desert, what happens to you? You know, your hands go numb, it's beating you around, it's difficult to accomplish what you're trying to do, which is get up that hill and have a good time. So altering that to a softer, plusher, more compliant suspension is a huge benefit. You know, you saved money getting that particular bike, but a little bit of setup goes a long way, I think.
So, like when you get a bike, tires and suspension would be something that you just probably do right off the bat.
Totally. Yeah, there's a lot of things in the industry that people like to buy and spend money on, and I think you get a lot further just putting a new set of tires on a lot of the time. We do Race Tech Gold Valves, we do MX Tech offers a full line of components that we like to utilize. So there's a lot of other products that even we're not involved in the manufacture of that we like to offer to the customer base.
So, and you can do that for other forks,
Correct. Yeah.
like I've got WP, you know.
Yep. We work on all the major brands, all the common, you know, Japanese, Austrian, and so forth.
Perfect. He's your guy. I know. I've seen him ride, and I'll show you the shop after I let him get back to work. He's busy. So
It's springtime.
it's time to ride.
Yep.
Well, thank you.
Appreciate
Appreciate
you coming.
it.